Strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools, baby, beware of my body. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Hey guys, how are we all? Alright, so as you can tell, my my computer does not like it when you change the screen resolution, does it? Oh boy. So just give me a sec to fix this. Oh, up. And fix that. And fix that. Alright. So in case you're wondering what is happening, why is it all screwing up, we just updated the computer system. Well, I just updated the computer system. And basically, to be honest, it's caused a few problems. I thought I had got rid of most of these, but apparently not. Alright, so I need to turn the panda off for a sec. I need to reboot him. That's the problem. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry about this. All right. Okay. Alright. Sorry about this. I need to reboot battery. Alright. Online production meetings are fun. I know. I'm both. Now. Thanks for camera for doxing me. Alright. Hey guys, how are we? Alright. Oh, hey Sandra. How are you, buddy? Alright, so... Okay, that should be working now. Alright. There we go. The little ferret is up and running. Okay. Alright, sorry about that, guys. How's life down under? Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Yeah, we got an election coming up, so, you know, that kind of always sucks, I suppose. But no, apparently, yeah, pretty good. Alright, so, let's go through and let's cover the news. And hopefully I won't have any more production meetings online. So, that needs to be that. Alright, let's jump into it, guys. Sorry about all that. Like I say, we're updating the system, and by we, I mean we as in me. So yeah, we're putting up new screen res. We're making things all look better, so to speak. And, yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a sec, man. The Notre Dame fire is interesting, isn't it? Like, really interesting. Now, obviously, satellite's not here. So, if I switch to... I knew that was going to happen. God damn it. Probably not the best thing to say when there's a church fire, but you know what I mean. Alright, that there. And that there. Okay. For the rest of it, we'll just sort of... I'll fight about it as we go through. So that way you guys don't have to see me. There we go. Alright. Didn't take as long. I'm getting good at it. Alright, let's jump into it. Let's cover the news. I swear this is an attack. This will be on par with 9/11. Yeah, thousands of people died with 9/11. So that in itself obviously has more implications, I suppose. But yeah, look, okay, we're going to go through. We'll talk about the Notre Dame, obviously. I can't say for sure it's a terrorist attack, but very interesting shit is going on. And right now, there's definitely a lot of people that are celebrating of a certain race or persuasion. So let's just post this in Discord 12 French text attack this week. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, I haven't even seen that one. Thanks, Trip. I'll put that up. Thank you, guys. Okay. I'll add that to the list because I've already seen a couple other stuff too. So, alright. Some of you may have already seen, already heard. Let's just kick straight into it. Flames cause colossal damage to Notre Dame's Cathedral in Paris. Macron says we will rebuild. Now, a fire has engulfed the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, one of the city's most iconic sites. The fire began at 6:50 p.m. local time Monday. The Paris Fire Department said it continues to burn hours later. The French firefighter official told reporters the main structure of the cathedral has been saved until the iconic main towers are intact and have been saved as well. French mayor Anne Holo, might be mispronouncing, said the authorities were evacuating people from the building in the area, including homes close to the cathedral. Now, a spokesman for the cathedral described the damage to the French media as colossal. Everything is burning. Nothing will remain from the flames, the spokesman said. It's kind of really... It's kind of eerie. Like, seeing how fast this thing is burning and just, yeah, like, holy shit. First responders are currently trying to salvage priceless art stored inside the cathedral, said Paris Deputy Mayor last week. The statues of the apostles were removed for restoration, thank God. Images on social media show smoke and flames shooting from the top of Notre Dame as mass plumes of smoke billow into the sky above. The fire may be connected to the recent restoration of the church, officials are saying. Okay. The restoration work cost 120 million euros. Well, that if it was that, it was a bit of a waste, wasn't it? The Notre Dame Paris officials told ABC News, adding that a fire alarm test conducted last week went well. No, obviously not too well, because... But anyway. The roof has completely collapsed, witness American professor living in Paris told ABC News. Large crowds have begun to gather around the scene. Some members of the crowd began to sing hymns as the cathedral burned. The cathedral was built around 1200 AD and towered over the city of Paris for centuries. Many of the facade and interior are true to the original designs. So it's a huge loss, obviously. French President Emmanuel Macron expressed sadness at the sight of the historic building demise, saying it captures the emotion of an entire nation. Thinking of all the cathedrals and all the French people, Macron wrote, like of our countrymen, I'm saddened tonight to the part of burning. Monday is the start of Holy Week, the busiest and most important period of the linear year. Easter is on Sunday. So they're not going to be able to use the church for that. Now, so obviously at 3:45 p.m, the Vatican press issued a statement expressing shock and sadness. 3:50 statement saying it's restoration of available heritage, blah, 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 right? So, at the end of the day, obviously everybody is talking about this burning at the moment. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So, the iconic cathedral saved after spire and roof collapse. So the main structure is apparently going to be okay. But why couldn't the firefighters douse the flames of Notre Dame Cathedral? Firefighters stood helpless to stem the blame of Notre Dame Cathedral Monday, likely because of the Gothic engineering techniques that waterproof the roof, consigning it to destruction. The roof and spire of Notre Dame were all built doomed to burn once flames began to spread, possibly began by renovation accident, so they claim. Because of the Gothic engineering techniques used to waterproof the top of the cathedral by placing a sheet of lead sheet roof over a wooden truss structure on the top of the groin vault that served as the ceiling for the cathedral's navel, according to Ted Harrison, who studied architecture at the college. So part of the design was to use lead sheeting over the roof to waterproof it, and that has obviously gone through and aided in the destruction of the cathedral because they couldn't waterproof it. But this is the thing, and this is what Avi has said on Twitter, right? Paris historic Notre Dame Cathedral is only the latest in string of church fires. Saint Sulpice Church was one of them, bursting into flames on March 17th. Am I alone in feeling uncomfortable with this news? Now, this is what he's posted, right? So here it is, Saint Sulpice, I might be mispronouncing that. That is it, burning on the 13th. just less than a month ago. And here is the Notre Dame Cathedral literally less than a month later. Now, obviously, there has also been a lot of fires over in certain churches, over in certain countries as well. There seems to be a bit of a fire situation with certain churches. It's weird how that seems to work. Not saying it's terrorism. Not saying that at all. But, you know, just saying, if I owned a church, I'd take out fire insurance right about now. Paul Joseph Watson, a brief summary of who's responding to the tragedy at Notre Dame fire with smiley faces. And there seems to be some Arabic names in here. So, there seems to be a few Arabic names. And some of the English ones seem Arabic as well. Why are people with these certain names smiling at the burning church? Just saying. Shepard Smith shuts down French commentator from speculating terrorism is behind the Notre Dame fire. Fox News anchor Shep Smith ended a phone call from a French media analyst when he began to speculate terrorism might be responsible for the fire at the Notre Dame Cathedral that broke out on Monday. Philippi Kenzie, who has previously been convicted of defamation, joined Fox News coverage of the fire and tried to offer his opinion that the fire may not have been an accident like it's been reported thus far. Reuters Paris bureau chief Luke Baker tweeted that the fire started by accident and is regarding an ongoing work, according to French 2, citing police. Everybody really under shock right now in France. I would tell you something, even if nobody died, it's like 9/11. It's a French 9/11, it's a big shock. The church was there for more than 850 years. Even the Nazis didn't dare to destroy it, Kempsey said. All you need to know, for the past years, we've had churches desecrated each and every week in France, all over France. So, of course, you'll hear the story of the political correct. The political correct will always tell you it's probably an accident. Smith interrupts him saying, Sir, we're not going to speculate here on the cause of something which we don't know. If you have observations or you know something, we would love to hear it. I'm just telling you something that we need to be ready, Kimsey responded. Now, Smith then cut him off and went into a diatribe about why he would not allow guests to speculate on his show. He said, no, sir, we're not going here. We're not going here. Not now. Not on my watch. Phillips Kenzie, is very good for you to be here. We're watching the latest particle destruction of a world icon. Notre Dame Cathedral has been burning for 2.5 hours. The initial reports have got that were fire started in a construction zone in the area, where there are thousands of miles away, and the man on the phone with us has absolutely no information of any kind of the original of this fire, and neither do I. Now, look, just because a fire started in a construction zone doesn't necessarily mean it's because of construction. Could it be because of this construction? Sure. Possible. Yeah. Totally possible. But let's not kid ourselves, right? Construction sites aren't that hard to get into. There's a lot of people going in and out. And it's a lot easy for someone to sneak in there with bottle of petrol or whatever it may be if they're not a fan of the church. And I'm not saying it's a certain minority or a certain race or religion or anything like that. It could be someone who's been molested by a priest. We don't know. But at the end of the day, I think shutting down the debate about this sort of stuff is not good. Okay? At the end of the day, a lot of the conspiracy theories that come out, particularly ones on the right, tend to be true. They tend to be based in some sort of factual evidence. Now, if it is terrorism, do I think that the French police are ever going to admit to it? No. But obviously it will. Hopefully it will come out. But look, I'm not saying it is terrorism. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it couldn't be done because of construction work. All I'm saying is it's easier to get into construction church when they're under construction. Sorry, they have a history of churches being destroyed, defecated, destroyed. Destroyed, defecated. Vandaled, smashed, whatever you want to say. Like they said earlier in the report here, or that we talked about, every week there is something going on with the church. Right? Some races and religions do find these icons very offensive. Personally, I think they can go and suck a lemon, but that's my view on that. But like I say, Shep Smith cuts off French official for alluding to Islam arson of Notre Dame fire. Shutting people off like this is only... If he is wrong, it's only going to make it go worse. Because people are now going to see this, and I'm covering it too, so I'm part of the problem, I suppose. But at the end of the day, people are going to see this and say, why did you turn him off? Why are you shutting down the debate on this when it is a possibility of it happening? And shutting down this debate like they've done is not good. It doesn't help the situation. Now, obviously that said, 12 French churches attacked, vandalized in 1 week. You maybe see why people are starting to allude that it might be terrorism? You think France might have a problem with certain churches being vandalized by certain people? And look, it's not all Islam, true. But at the end of the day, some of it is, some of it's not. Some of it's people that were being molested by church. Some are people that are upset by other people being molested by the church. Work that one out. I'm offended over you being molested, so I'm going to go and vandalize the church for you. Wow, like, if you were one of the victims, I can completely sympathize with that, but acting as a surrogate, I think it's just someone trying to destroy a church because they just want to, but, you know. Okay, so let's jump into this. So, a dozen cathedral churches have been desecrated across France over the period of 1 week in an egregious case of anti-Christian vandalism. A recent spate of church profanations has puzzled both police and ethnic leaders, I might be mispronouncing that, who have recently remained silent as the violations have sped up and down France. Last Sunday, marauders set fire to the Church of Saint Sulpice, which is obviously something I've already covered, one of Paris's largest and most important churches, shortly after 12 o'clock Mass. Police have concluded that the fire was a result of arson and are now looking for the possibility of a suspect. Interesting. So, the restoration of the church of damages will reportedly cost several €100 million. The Nimes department of Chute, near the border with Spain, and the church of Notre Dame d'Ethe was desecrated in particular odorous way. The vandals painting a cross with a human excrement, looting the main altar and the tabernacle, might be mispronouncing, tabernacle, might be mispronouncing, and stealing consecrated hosts, which were discovered later among piles of garbage. And I actually remember reporting on that people were stealing stuff from the church. They were saying that chalices can get anywhere from a couple of $100 to a couple of $1,000, depending on how old they are. So, yeah, look. So, 80% of desecration of parishes of worship were in France, concerns Christians. That's a big rise. That's a lot. So, in 2018, the Ministry of Interior Records recorded 541 anti-Semitic attacks, 100 anti-Muslim attacks, and 1,063 anti-Christians attacks. So the Christians are actually being more victimized in Paris than anybody else. But I suppose we won't hear that on the news. I don't know, guys. What do you guys reckon? Do you reckon this is terrorism, or do you reckon this is arson? Do you reckon it's someone that's that certain race or religion? Do you think at the end of the day it's someone that maybe had a problem with the church in the past with some sort of allegations? I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. We'll jump through comments in this right now. Post a link via Discord. Yep, thanks to Trip. Already got that up for you. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for your help, by the way. Caplet. Yeah, the fact that so many churches have been attacked makes us suspicious. Yeah, look, if you had just one fire, like in a month, then fine. You know, it does happen. 2 fires in a month does make you wonder. And apparently 12 French churches attacked in 1 week. That really makes you wonder, doesn't it? EGCS, Anthony, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, so how's life down under? So, yep, it's crazy. I'm skeptical over whether this is an accident. Did you see the drone photo in this whole thing? No, I didn't. I don't think I've seen that photo. Might have been in the report there. I swear if this is an attack, it'll be on par with 9/11. I visited Notre Dame. It's a beautiful place. In terms of human life, 9/11 was definitely worse, but in terms of the cost of the culture and history, that's true. And Notre Dame reportedly also has a lot of artifacts in it. A lot of paintings and a lot of old history, a lot of old artifacts and stuff. Yeah, so in terms of culture, it would obviously be a huge loss. Watch the people singing was pretty heartbreaking. Yeah. Were they singing like Christian hymns to try and get God to save the church though? Or were they singing like something or other? Britain First put a post on their Telegram after 5 minutes of the fire, linking to a 2-year-old Telegram article saying they found gas tanks and Arabic documents in a car by the cathedral. Wow. So it's been planned before. Yeah. I don't know if it was that sophisticated. It seems like it started off in the construction area. But that said, like I say, construction areas are relatively easy to get in and out of. There's a lot of people going in and out. Even if it were recent, I'd make no sense. We'd definitely know the source of the fire if a car blew up. Yeah, I would say. I don't think it's the car thing. I think that's just showing it's a previous attempt. They said it started in the construction area, so... Loads of fires in only cathedrals must be all coinkydink. Yeah, good point. It is a little bit weird, isn't it? EGCS, did you see the photo of all the people who reacted? Yeah, I think we just shown that actually on the... If that's what you're talking about, like on Twitter, laughing with smileys and stuff like that. Hitler was a Catholic too, wasn't he? Yeah, I think he was actually. It's deliberate, but most people think... Sorry, it is deliberate, but most think he was not. Religion to control. Okay, yeah. The coincidence church attacks coincidence with all the murders burning in Africa too. This isn't too long after New Zealand's shooting. It all seems to be coincidental to me. That's true too. They did offer to, or they did threaten to provoke or retaliate, didn't they? So yeah, it is possible. It is definitely possible. So yeah, look, I would say, look, I would tend to lean towards terrorism, or someone who's terroristic, meaning, you know, it's not necessarily a race or religion. It could be someone who has been affected by this church or by a church in past. Could be anything. But yeah, I don't think this is just a weird coincidence. All these churches being vandals and attacks and burnt and all that. No, I think it's pretty obvious what's going on. Also, guys, don't forget to hit thumbs up on this video too, by any chance. Because obviously it does help the channel out, and there was 13 people watching and I've only got 6 likes, so what are you doing? But let's keep going. Let's keep going with the news. Obviously, guys, we'll keep you up to date on this. We'll obviously keep following it, and yeah, we'll let you know. We'll see what happens. Supporters cheer Peter Buttigieg, I'm getting that wrong. Kissing husband chosen at 2020 election campaign kickoff. I'm going to use a dirty politics to run against Trump because that worked so well in 2016. South Bend Indian Mayor Peter Buttigieg, thanks for the likes, guys. We got up to 8 now, thanks. Announced his run for president on Sunday as supporters cheered the moment he kissed his husband on stage. Look, at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with gay guys, but when you're using it to win an election, like, come on. The two men embraced after Buttigieg finished his opening campaign speech in South Bend, Indiana. So the moment brought immediate praise from his supporters. Mayor Peter kissed his husband after he announced his campaign and brought LGBT people to tears. I read a headline on the LGBT National Story calling it an act of defiance. And that's my problem. That's my problem with this whole thing. Like, look, at the end of the day, if it had just been like, you know, like, yay, I'm running, sort of thing. What? No, we're there? Alright. Well, that was weird. Well, you got booted for a sec. Alright, so anyway, let's keep going. It's weird, you know, we start covering these sort of stories and my internet starts blowing up. But yeah, like I say, look, at the end of the day, if it's just a case of I'm running on this policy and everything like that, then I have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with gay guys. I think they're great. You know, more women for me. Knock yourself out. But at the end of the day, if it's identity politics and you're rubbing it into people's faces and whatnot just because you're trying to win an election, to me it just seems like you're using someone. It's just like you're using the people or whatever. And that's where I have a problem with it. It just comes off as trying to win an election. CNN, Dublin. Not a coincidence. Trump has blasted Representative Omar. He's always after people of colour. Hasn't he been going on a tirade lately? Well, what they would call a tirade anyway. For example, Creepy Joe Biden. Hadn't he gone after Hillary during the 2016 election, saying lock her up? If he's always after people of colour, what about all these other cases where it's not people of colour? Unless you're claiming now that Hillary Clinton is secretly a person of colour. But, yeah, tender. CNN legal analysis. Jeffrey Toobin on Monday responded to President Donald Trump's tweet about Emma remarks about 9/11, which she brushed off as some people did something, which we've obviously covered. Toobin said he has noticed a common thread in people Trump has been vilifying. They're all people of colour, except for, you know, this case, this case, this case, this case, or this case, of course. CNN political analysis. David Gregory suggested Omar called out of her anti-Semitism and remarks regarding 9/11, added it's beyond the pale. She gets attacked and threatened for what she has said. She literally tried to downplay terrorism. could you imagine if I went through and said something like, for example, the New Zealand shooter, like the New Zealand shooting incident, some person did something. Like, holy shit. If I posted that on Twitter, I would be banned so fast. You know, the New Zealand shooting is something that someone did. Can you imagine if I did that? Holy dooly. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, do I think she's anti-Semitic? Sure. She's Muslim. Of course she's anti-Semitic. Most of them are anyway. So look, at the end of the day, yeah, I think her comments were based in racism. Like, is she trying to downplay terrorism? Of course. She's sick of the case that every time there's a terrorist attack, someone brings up her religion. So what's she doing? She's probably heard a whole bunch of 9/11 jokes over the past some time, the past few weeks, whatever it may be, months, whatever it may be, and she's trying to downplay it because she's sick of hearing about it. She's realised that it's a soft spot, and yeah, basically is calling it out and just saying, look, trying to downplay it because people keep going on about it. Is she right? No. I don't think terrorist attacks where 3,000 people died should be considered something of someone. I think the 3,000 people death toll is definitely something that people should remember. And I don't think that that should be downplayed at all. But anyway. Legal citizen from Tarago attacked for wearing a MAGA hat in Maryland neighborhood. Legal citizen from Tarago was reportedly attacked in Maryland for wearing a Make America Great Again hat on Saturday, as police have taken 2 suspects into custody. The man who lives in Germantown, MD, might be mispronouncing, was reportedly attacked in his neighborhood by 2 men because he was wearing the hat in support of President Donald Trump. He was reportedly hit in the head and upper body as the 2 suspects tried to steal the hat from him, according to ABZZ. The Montgomery County Police Department says the victim, who was wearing a red Make America Great Again hat, was approached by 2 men who began harassing the victim and asking why he was wearing the MAGA hat. The victim told the suspects that he was entitled to his own views and kept walking away from the suspects. The suspects began striking the victim and telling him to take the hat off. The victim continued to be struck by the suspects until he fell to the ground. The suspect then removed property from the victim and destroyed items of value. The suspect has then fled the scene, Maryland police. Police originally arrested 2 men in connection with the crime. So, a Genova Crawford. So, let's see if we can find what he looks like. What do you guys reckon? White or brown? So, that's apparently an actress? Oh no, that's someone else. No, can't find him. 27 Gettysburg, and Scott Robinson, 25 of Washington DC. They're probably leftists. They're probably left-leaning, yeah, liberals. The men reportedly are facing 10 or more years in prison. So they don't really talk about, yeah. They probably got Trump derangement syndrome. So, share.
They most likely do. I agree.
Hey, buddy. How are you, man?
Yeah, good, good. It's still going?
Yeah. As long as the internet holds up. The internet just shut itself and we lost about 7 people.
Well, jeez, that's bad. I'm so sorry to hear it.
Yeah, it's funny too because it was right as we were talking about this gay presidential election campaign. This gay guy that's running for 2020. we were talking about him, his boyfriend on stage, and I was saying if it's identity politics, and then we got booted off for 30 seconds. It's weird how that works.
So it's almost like it. Oh, you naughty! Take 30 seconds in the corner.
Yeah. But anyway, Share reverses course on mass immigration. If my state can't take care of its own, how can we take care of more? Pop singer Chute seemed to be about face on immigration issue, questioning why a city and state that isn't taking care of its own should bring in and take more. This is interesting because this is literally right after Trump threatened to send them all to their area.
Hey, that's quite a flip.
Yeah, and I don't think it's coincidental that she's doing it right after Trump threatened to send them all to her area either. And we're offline again. I understand helping struggling immigrants, but my city, Los Angeles, isn't taking care of its own, Cher said in a Sunday tweet. What about the 50,000 plus citizens who live on the streets? She has a point. I do find it weird that it's literally right after Trump was threatening to send them to sanctuary cities.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually funny. I was actually going to like, hey, sure, she seems to have her head screwed on correctly when it comes to the immigration thing. It's just it's a genuine. Yeah.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all, to be honest. I think this is just because of the fact that, oh shit, we're going to have to end up taking the whole bunch of immigrants.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Michael knows. I'll never forget where I was and what I was doing the moment Cher became a Republican.
That's pretty funny.
Massachusetts campus police on leave after liking tweets by NRA and Trump. The new joint campus police chief from Mount Hunkley College and Smith College in Massachusetts has been put on place on leave after his personal Twitter account sparked outrage among students. The police association had allegedly liked tweets from the National Rifle Association and President Donald Trump, which caused students to question whether their campus community is safe. Oh, the poor little leftist snowflakes. I don't feel safe in my campus because my president or my police chief liked a tweet by the NRA and Trump. Oh,
that is insane.
And we want to talk a little bit close to home and some possible fake news. Support for One Nation crashes in latest news poll. Oh, really? Does it? Does it really? The latest news poll shows support for Pauline Hanson's One Nation has crashed, boasting Labour's lead, but also giving Coalition its equal best primary vote since just after the election. The poll of Australia puts the major parties neck to neck on a primary vote of 39% each. Preferences to the Green mean Labour maintains two-party preferred leadership of 52% to 48%, which is a 2.4 swing against the Coalition. I don't think...
I'll admit, I don't follow the Aussie politics that much, but I don't recall hearing of some scandal from One Nation that would lead to a drop in support.
Well, what they're claiming is that the original title of this was because of the scandal regarding the NRA. But they've had to change their headline. They've modified it without putting a note on it, by the way. So I think I think A, they've got their ass handed to them for doing that, for a start. And B, I also think at the end of the day, is they know that was wrong and that was factually inaccurate, so they've had to change the headline. But I don't think Pauline is losing support. I think this is more of what we saw in 2016 with Trump. Goes through, blasts the airwaves, claiming that she's lost support. People won't vote for her, and it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, that actually kind of works. I think the opposite, though. I don't think people in Australia would believe it, because you have to. I think the tactic is different.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it even works over in the US too in some situations. Look, it's a 50-50 shot. The thing is, there's a bet in the house on the 50-50 shot. Literally. Like, So, yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think she's lost support. And, yeah. They originally cited was because of the NRA scandal thing. But like I said, they've changed the headline. If you're having to change the headline less than a day after your article goes up, obviously there's a problem with your reporting. Obviously it was inaccurate. Because why else would you be changing it?
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway. I don't know. Apart from all that, how are you? Good?
Yeah, I am well.
Well, that's about it. That's us for the day. We're wrapping up.
Oh, well, we're almost done, are we?
We are done. Yeah. That was it. Most of today was actually covering the Notre Dame fire, actually, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I kind of heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you enjoying the new graphics?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to really test it. I haven't had a chance to really, go through and put it through its paces, so to speak. Because obviously I've spent a lot of time just trying to rebuild the system up, and I had the hard drive crash server on the stream rig because of when I bumped it, it caused the master boot record to just crash. I don't know how that happened, but anyway. So like I say, yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's, obviously I've just spent a lot of time rebuilding it, and I only got it all yesterday afternoon, so it's all up and running now. I was actually going to do a little bit of testing now and seeing how it goes, and yeah, I did do a recording last night on 2500 for the bitrate, and you can tell the difference between 2500 and the screen. So I want to try doing a bitrate with, say, like 4 and 6, and then I'll do a recording on 8, and I might actually like overlap them so that you can see the difference between them.
Yeah, I did forget to send you the screenshot for the V23 OBS settings, but
yeah, you sent me a video on overclocking instead. I don't plan on overclocking the card just yet anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't actually send it to you for the other side of it.
Ah, okay.
It was to see the voltage regulation, the VRM bank. So that because it's it's got 16 MOSFETs, 8 coils. It runs in 8-phase mode, but it's basically got the components that make up almost 16 phases.
Okay.
They're not using doublers. That's why.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty good. I'm getting a decent frame rate. Like, I jumped in there. I jumped into Star Citizen yesterday, and I got it up and running, and I was getting, like, obviously I'm over at ArtCorp, which is not optimized at the best at the moment anyway, and I'm still getting around 40 or 50 frames, which is, like I say, not because of the card, but because of optimization. But yeah, I want to go over to like ArtCorp and I want to go to Port Alizar and all those sort of places and sort of really put it through its tests and phases and see what sort of frame rate I get and stuff. But yeah, a good
way to have a good tool to take with you is GPU-Z. Have GPU-Z up on the second screen, and then put it on sensors, and
Okay.
just you can see the GPU usage. It's like CPU usage, and then as you are moving about in looking at Port Olisar and all those things, you can see whether the 1080 Ti is actually the bottleneck, or is it the CPU side of it, and then you can see how much of the game is either optimized, or is there potential where if down the line you upgrade more of your computer, you might see, oh, there's potential in an upgrade down the line.
Yeah.
You'll see, because whenever the GPU is not hitting 100%, that means that other components, if they were faster, you'd get more FPS.
Or optimize